The beautiful world scene appeared. The clouds of insects surrounded the undulating mountains hidden behind the white clouds. Brother knows what to vent. A man is hitting his opponent with his feet. His face showed excitement. Don't stop pedaling hard. A crowd of people surrounded Qin Yun's place. They don't stop being sarcastic. Don't not know that. Brother, you know, our junior lawyer is about to make a breakthrough recently. Is very lacking knit medicine body is the big brother. Maybe you shouldn't care. Take care of our genius brother as before Sao. As soon as he said that, he put out his hand first. The eyes are somewhat dangerous. Tran Van used his hands to wipe the blood on the corners of his lips. I let out a soft sound. If you want to steal, come here. Don't stand there talking about ridiculous and disgusting reasons. You screamed out loud with an angry look on your face. All three Kia immediately excitedly rushed to. They say ha. A monster like you is tough. Give him a lesson, beat him. Tran Van tightened his hand, ready to receive the attack. In your head thinking, and throw a punch in the face. The leader hugged in pain. Angry face dare to hit me Sao. Beat him for me. Countless punches were thrown straight at Tran Van. He used his hands to stop the attack. The painful expression in my head. Talk about fucking things. They were beating and screaming loudly. In the distance, there is someone who is heading. Eyes looking that way. You can't let go, boss. Those people. He pressed Qin Yun's body to the ground with his feet. He bent over and grabbed what was in his hand. The expression on his face was clear. I got it. Meanwhile, Tran Van is horrified by what is happening. He pulled out the elves he had in his bag. Out every beautiful yellow glow. The expression on his face became contemptuous. How many years have you used this medicine? It's not just 8-stage gas. I will give you medicine, not for pigs. That's right, the teammate also spoke up. You should have some self-awareness. Suddenly a voice came from far away. What's going on? Just doing a little thing so slowly. From a distance, a male figure, riding on a horse appears. He is the natural master of the mausoleum. Appeared with a majestic appearance, riding on a horse with a strong horn. He slowly approached the crowd. When they see that, they bow down. Worship ceremony of the architect. One of them, speaking in a haughty tone, this guy doesn't know what we're teaching him. The director's eyes suddenly glanced at him. Then he turned to Chen. Then scornfully laughed a howl. He spoke up. Your brother is not the first time. Lend me the medicine. Why are you so stubborn this time? A man behind me answered the lawyer. I still don't know. If he doesn't break through the muscle structure in 2 months, they will be expelled from the school. These knitting pills, he's seen it as a life-saving straw. When talking about them, the man's face showed contempt. To hear those words, he looked down coldly and said, slowly, brother. 2 years before we arrived, you're just 8-stage gas. Now we're about to build. You are 8 floors. You are a hard-to-find 100-year-old. He pointed his finger straight at Qin Yun. Are in pain on the ground. Qin Yun was angry when he heard those words. A thunderous eye drop. Suddenly, there was a bit of fear in my heart. Silently wondering, yes. Tran Van immediately shouted. No matter how low our endowment is, at least we're human. It's not animals like wolves. When he heard those words, he was angry. What do you mean? His sharp face looked down at the bottom. The ceiling screams. The Department of Wild Animals. You don't understand why. Suddenly a hand gripped Chen's collar. And lift you up. The gang leader right now. He spoke up and told Tran Van that. To scold our brother. You want to die. Qin Yun smiled softly for an hour. Then he said with contempt to the person in front of him. Maybe it's not like that. Department of Natural Resources. You went into the field with low power. I have always cared about taking care of you. It even gives you the opportunity to enter the spiritual tower. Now you have divided up the faction and oppressed the fellow. They stole my medicine. What are you, not an animal? Tran Van just said. He immediately pointed straight in front of me, full of anger towards the enemy. And you too. You really think you're the wrong man for him now? Wait until he gets inside. I will let you dress for joy. This type of person, I will just throw you away without hesitation. Jen looked down at the people in front of her, let out those cold words. Right now, on the side of surprise. He didn't say a word. I looked down thoughtfully. On handles a thread ROI immediately swung high. His face filled with anger uttered a howl. ROI cloud immediately swung straight to Tran Van. He hit that thing. Painful cough, a howl. The department's tone was suddenly somewhat angry. Immediately speak up. Don't listen to this piece of shit talking. waiting for me to get into the closet. I will not abuse everyone. The people are glad to hear that. Immediately get everyone right. Don't let this scum break you up. When he finished, he threw Chen Yun to the ground. He landed really hard. The rumbling sound echoed. Suddenly at this moment, the system doesn't know where it came from. The chimpanzee sounds. There is also information on it. The coastal observation system has been successfully launched. What did Tran Van look like? The Kia people are constantly flattering. The devil, they say. Don't worry, we will definitely trust you. That's right, we are all brothers, even though we are different parents. We are not useless people. The system immediately displays the property name information, the status of the exoteric disciple of the mausoleum, recent charm at the market of trading, at noon tomorrow, to find a piece of Lin Dan in the middle of a pile of discarded drugs. Tran Van saw that thing. I was so amazed that my mouth was in open. My head thinking, this is the system. I can't believe I've been in this world for 18 years. Now the new system appears. Just thought in my head. He used 2 hands. Dust still on your body. Keep talking. The system of observation also means I can check the fate of everyone. Sao. Look at the people who are moving away. They don't stop talking excitedly. You're a good lawyer, that's right. The system shows on them that there's been no luck lately. One of the men approached Tran Van and scratched his head, then uttered a sound, then immediately move away. I didn't forget when I turn around laughing contemptuously and say them. Bad. A bunch of bandits. Some people come forward anxiously speaking up. You were also taken away by them. That's right. It's been taken in half. The ceiling tells itself, watch out. It's actually possible to see the fate of any AI. But it's not that AI can capture that fate. The others turned their faces to Chen Yun, then sadly said, look, my brother seems to have been hit again. Fortunately we didn't resist. At least we're not getting hit right now. Tran Van thought silently. If that is the case, we must prepare quickly. Department of Natural Resources. I'll be the one to steal your stuff the next day. The bustling market looms in the open air. The stream of slaves is pouring in. Chen Van saw that in a whisper. It's exciting to see if we can find it. His eyes, looking towards the store selling cheap pharmacy next, have fun speaking up. This must be the place. Tran Van approached the shop owner, then asked, brother, how much does this medicine cost per hour? I heard someone ask the price. The store owner raised 2 fingers and said, 2 primeval stones an hour. You're surprised by the money. Immediately said, I can't believe this abandoned pharmacy is so cheap. You're thinking in your head, must know that. 2 ordinary raw stones. Not sure if I can buy enough medicine. The boss used his spirit power to lift up a piece of knitting medicine, even if it's just a pottery. But it still works. Used as food for animals or as fertilizer for Lin Tao. They are very effective. Tran Van's hand softly touching the medicinal knit laid out on the table. He spoke up and asked, this pharmacy is definitely a crochet. The boss replied, if it's normal pharmacy, we can sell it cheap. Like that. I'm sure these are all discarded kills of sugar. Tran Van immediately spread out his hands and said, in my backyard, at the same time, there's a botanic instead garden. Of wasting time here. You can sell it for me for 1 hour. The boss's eyes immediately stared at him with a colorful appearance. In my head I thought, there are not many stones left. Most of the accumulated integer over the years, they were suddenly robbed. There's just enough left to buy these discarded knits. The boss happily spoke up. It is difficult to sell this medicine for you. At Tran Van's residence, Changlan's scorching sun shines everywhere. Not. He spoke in a tone that was incomprehensible. This one is not. He said, hand, and held the other pills. The table is full of plundered pellets. My hand suddenly touched a piece of medicine. You look up and you scream. There's something strange about this medicine. Knitting is wrapped in a medicinal shell, he said and peeled it off. Just finished the words, the hands removed the shell. Wrapped outside the fanciful golden light flashed brightly. See what appears in front of you. You are happy to say. Found it. I can't believe it's a high-class spirit. Let's see how effective this medicine is. The medicine tablet was placed on the palm of his hand. Your face shows happiness. Tran Van is currently sitting on a bed. The crimson flames enveloped your body immersed in meditation posture. The flame burns endlessly. The fire enveloped the human body inside. The ceiling slowly opened its eyes. He looked at the palm of his hand with a confident expression on his face. Immediately speak up. No tiger is the original Lin Dan Hai. It's not just about improving body quality. It's even widened its meridians. This is the medicine that the patriarch just got. The arm touches the door and pushes the door out. Tran Van reached out and said in a cheerful tone, this time we can break through to the 8-stage gas field. He glanced at the tree in front of him. Let's try my 6 now. I said. Chen Yun's arm immediately swung up. The tree was immediately separated. Both of them were horrified by what was going on. I thought I'd reached the 9th stage of gas. More. It seems like there's only one step left to reach the damaged muscle structure. The smile is clearly on your face. Eyes looking towards the distance. Training for many years. Not as effective as a wicker. The effectiveness of high-grade herbal medicine is truly amazing for those who are as normal as I am. Of course it depends on resources. Tran Van looked up at the blue sky, listening to the leaves rustling in the wind. Now with me, mechanical structural breakthroughs are no longer far-fetched. Can't reach anymore. Then next, to the library of a complete set of laws. Increase the fighting force. Just staying outside is never enough. Only when you get inside. He even became a disciple. We can get more resources. At the cardboard trading market, people who rush in. The air is very bustling. Suddenly I walked past a bar, suddenly noticed an empty booth and said, "Ask the owner what this store originally sold." Hear the question. The man holding the pepper fan that he had sold out all his knitting and was about to leave. "There was a young man this morning. Came to buy your goods. So you're welcome." The cleaner always hears that. Suddenly, somewhat surprised, he asked, "Do you know who bought it?" The boss replied, "Who can remember? Seems to be an exoteric disciple of Mausoleum." Suddenly he looked up at the sky and thought, "Why do I feel like I've lost something?" In such an empty heart, at the library around the closed clouds. Tran Van is coming. Hold a card in the hand and bring it to the front. The face is somewhat awkward. I laughed for a few hours. A gray-haired old man spoke up. "Old man, remember, you stopped at the 8-story gas station for a long time. Now it's just one step away from muscle structure. Look, you've had a special time lately." Tran Van heard that and replied, "The elder is astute, disciple of mediocre nature. Fortunately, not long ago, I accidentally met her. We can break through to this world." He thought in his mind about the 6th and 4th, the way of elders. Only the high-class medicinal knitting as Nguyen Lin Dan every month will be given. However, if the display does not have the charm, maybe the system is based on people's needs to judge whether or not it counts as luck. The elder said, "Love is also part of the power. Come in. You already know the rules." Chen Yun went inside. Huge view, but a shadow appeared in front of him. He approached the stairs and stepped up, thinking in my head, after the 6th stage, we reached the 9th steering wheel. You can lend a student a reading. So after laying the foundation for truck muscle not long ago, he looked in the direction of the other brothers. He's practicing Qigong. He holds a book next to him and thinks. Even though they're all conventional techniques, but for extroverts like me, this is also a great benefit, even though it's just a foundational technique. But if you choose right, in the future the practice will be less than half as light. Which book to choose? His eyes stopped at the books. Suddenly in the distance came a voice. This is not. It must be our big brother. Why are you on the 2nd floor? The bullies showed up yesterday. They looked at the ceiling with contempt, disgusted and spoke up. It's not. Brother, do you know how to measure yourself? Dare to go to the 2nd floor. The one next to me is ironic. Why did the elders let you up? All 3 of them surrounded Chen Yun's place. Loud and powerful. This is not a place for a loser like you. Hurry up and get out. Tran Van is facing the thugs. I stood staring at that side. A series of letters came up on top. The hoodlums have no luck lately. There is no reason to think. These people are rubbish. It doesn't work. They are Tran Van's brothers. They say this, big brother. Why didn't you say anything? Do you need our brothers to take you down? If you don't want to be beaten, get out of here. Blonde lipstick Goku La Big, shut up. Give me all the outside trash. Dare to speak out here too. Dare to bother me to practice again. I will cut off your tongues. The 3 of them shouted, let's go. Look like you're lucky. You shouldn't get involved in this. Then the blonde turned to look at the ceiling. Chen Yun just looked and said nothing. Blonde guy grinds his teeth. What are you still doing here? It's unfathomable. It feeds on trash like you. What is the effect? Don't even get out. Chen Yun made a small smile and celebrated with him. Then Tran Van turned his head and walked away. On the head of the blonde appeared recently charm. 3 days later, he found a copy of 5 books. No one borrows reading. And discovered out. There's an edited handwriting by a patriarch. The levels of public law. This body can be compared to local law. At the library on the 2nd floor, Chen considered that there are a lot of real stories. Suddenly, Chen discovered a hole. Hold that book up. I see a lot of dust. I really think this book is real. You have to take the time to practice to get results. 3 days later, in a quiet place, flowers racing each other show
Suddenly,
off. The flower was blown by the wind. Tran Van is sitting in cultivation. It suddenly broke out not long after. I opened my eyes. Ceiling Stripe rejoiced. Finally succeeded in breaking through the muscle structure. No Tiger is French. Edited by the elders. The effect is far superior compared to ordinary books. Without this law, we don't know when we'll be able to break through the muscle structure, so I have to go get the orders of the inner disciple right away. Tran Van went to an old man. He said that Master Chen Van suddenly asked, "You've reached this level already. Congratulations. Congratulations, Master Chen, you really didn't. What you did was amazing. Unexpected in just a few short days. Has gone from 8-stage gas to muscle structure. You guys are messing around." I didn't hear that wrong. The name of older brother Perpetual 8 floors have broken through to muscle structure SAO. Why is it possible? The master said. He is the one who broke through. Everyone can join the inner circle. Your new order, tomorrow, will be brought to you at the latest. If you want later to have more resources of inner cultivation, we have to see what the next race is like. Chen, the disciple, understood. Everybody back and forth to congratulate Big Brother. Brother, please share your heart. Let us hear it. I knew you were a genius for 100 years. It's hard to see. Look at Big Brother. In fact, we've always been modest. What is there? You guys are so complimented. Right now, I wish everyone was so kind. Normal day. I have never seen you admire me. In the first world, of course, the power is everything. Everything else becomes meaningless. Hao Tian department is very noisy. The horse is riding too. All the monks back off. Only Tran Van remained in place. Hao Tian angrily called Tran Van. Then, he pushed the horse forward. Not expected. Brother Chen, you can break through the structure again. Only by your character. Without a large amount of medicinal knitting. It's unbelievable. Have you sold your ass to people? His followers also laughed. Haha, I think that must be it. The name Tran Van is so bad that everyone knows it. Apart from selling ass, who can pay attention to him? Crossed arms full of anger on the head of Hao Tian appeared recently. Tomorrow, when Sam came to the town to complete his apostolic mission, killed a mutant animal. Get the wind attribute variation benefit. Use it in exchange for a large amount of resources the esoteric disciples, and at the same time, get everyone's sympathy. Thinking. This apostolic task falls again tomorrow. What that means is, Hao Tian had received this task before. We have to figure out how to keep him. That way I can achieve his grace. The police department said Sao didn't say anything else. Maybe I was hit. Tran Van mused for a moment. Then point your hand towards Hao Tian. It's the name of the wolf. You dare to insult me. If you have courage, tomorrow at noon, we fight a decisive battle in the ring. Dare you not? The other disciples talked. Hao Tian department has reached the structure. Another said he had never heard of it. Looks like he's just trying to stand out. The blonde disciple said so well. I've been scratching my eyes for a long time. Finally, my brother could have avenged on our behalf. The others are as scared as you think. Hao Tian department has high quality 9-stage gas purification. He was able to beat his opponent in the mechanical structure. It's been spinning for an hour. The two are talking in fear. Hao Tian department can speak. If that was the case, tomorrow we will have a fight. To win, I have to let you know. A piece of trash like you, even though we've broken through the muscle structure, in front of me is still a mess. It's always been that way. Chen Yun smiled. It's trapped. Tomorrow comes on time. Who does not dare to fight? That guy is a coward. Let us turn around and talk. Self-humiliation. Chen Van thought confident will beat me like that. See if you haven't been to the building yet. But he also has some great tricks and cards. Only a fool will confront you. Your love belongs to me now. Noon the next day, in the town of Sam, suddenly the wind is strong. Confused people ask each other, what's going on? Suddenly, there's a monster that's chasing people here. They panicked and screamed. Quickly find a way out. This animal is like an evolved chicken. Just one trick that broke a lot of people screaming. Why does my favorite show up here? Go and invite Mr. Chen Van to ride. It's about time. But this mutant animal knows how to fly. This animal, clear temperament and solitary behavior, never actively attacked people. So why has Sao become this crazy? No matter what, we also have to deal with this problem today. I love animals. Destroyed a lot of the walls in the town. I love to see Tran Van coming. It's burning when Tran Van comes to the ceiling squinting. Something's wrong. I'm a fire-spitting animal, and I've smashed a lot of things. Chen Yun said it was really bad. If the previous Min hadn't broken through the muscle structure, maybe this one trick is dead. But now, I can only say I'm sorry. Look at the same time, we went to the show. The ring heard people talking. What's going on? I heard yesterday, Big Brother Chen and Xiao Tian agreed to fight today. It's been an hour without seeing you. I don't know. Even if it's SAO, our boss hasn't returned yet. How did you find that junkie? The servant said not yet. Chen Yun is not in his place. We've searched the entire school, but I still can't see you. The Hao Tian angry hateful. He dared to play with me, exclaimed his subordinate. Surely that guy was afraid to fight the old man. So I ran away. The brothers talked. Brother Chen really ran away. It's not that he made an offer to fight SAO. This is too cowardly. I hope he will teach you the name of God. One more fight. Even though it's up to the structure. He is still a cowardly brother. I lost face for him. Hao Tian department goes back and forth. He is, of course, a cowardly wasteland. Just wasting my time. The men of Hao Tian exhorted to look. Have you seen it? Brother Tran Van was threatened by the lawyer. Afraid of losing the road is the sixth structure. But he did not dare to fight with the master disciple 6 to practice loser. Gas. To see later. That name, does the nose appear in the body? Hao Tian think. Clearly, he ran away. Why do I feel insecure? It just doesn't feel right. That coward really just ran away. SAO. Tran Van here is fighting furiously with love. Two sides of equal talent. So the beast was defeated by Chen Yun. Tran Van last thought. It also seems to have been resolved. Chen Yun put away the sword and thought again. Your skill is higher than a dangerous level. If I haven't reached the structure yet, and there's no strong supportive public sleep, I'm afraid I died here today. If I can't think of a plan. The man who killed this unclean. That's the Hao Tian department. Next is the harvest. Put the sword in my hand, Tran Van thought. Let's try. Love knitting variation of maple properties. A few minutes later, Tran Van holds a love knitting ball in his hand. This is not the usual love. Then you put it in the bag. Then you turn around. People thank Tran Van. Thank God for the help. Please save the life of the Lord. Prince Sam, we must keep it in our hearts. An old man spoke. I don't know the body of this animal. Chen looked back and thought. Even though I was careful, but did not expect the battle between me and this mutant lover. It's still causing so much destruction. Looking at the ruins, more and more people. The other two lost their place. The child called his mother. Tran Van said. You bring it to sell. How much money? It is used to compensate those in distress. This time after killing the animals. Aggressive African integrity. They're trying to attack SA people in a spectacular way. Tran Van has received deep respect from everyone around. Benevolent top. They all hold hands and thank God. Tran Van in front of the hearts of the people raised 2 hands of thanksgiving. In my head a fleeting thought. People face this kind of love. They're all small and weak. If I'm not a priest, today is just one of them. Goodbye to the people in town. Tran Van jumped on the back of his familiar horse and left to continue his journey. The time to leave has come. Your face has a lot of fear. Day over. With a glimpse of concern in her sad eyes. Behind you is the ruined scene after the battle. To win peace for the people of Sam. In the mind, you can't stop thinking about what just happened. A demented animal. It made it difficult for me to cope. If the person who comes here is a natural, he certainly won't waste his energy. Tran Van reflects on the choice he made. To consider the correctness and wrongness of what happened. Not determined to fight him. It's certainly the right decision. Can't wait any longer. Tran Van and the horse glided quickly to move towards the next goal in the plan. With eyes full of faith. You carry an exhilarating spirit. Excited to think about the booty that's about to be collected. After the terrible chaos. About Buddhism. To make this opportunity a reality first. The eyes of all the major sects of the zodiac appear. With ancient and dignified beauty. Smog covered all year round. To create an exquisite and magical painting. Tran Van has returned to the temple. Then go inside as usual. Suddenly, the people in the sect began to make fun of. Look, that's not Big Brother Sao. The person next to me continued. I can't believe he has his nose back. These people have no intention of stopping. I still look at the return of Tran Van. Wait, what is he going to do? Chen Van let the gossip spread about him. Try to squeeze step by step heavy. Suddenly a voice echoed. Stand back and raise your eyes. I saw the people of the suddenly. Stopped at the door. Stop me from going inside. The police suddenly threatened Tran Van loudly. In a sour tone. You still have the guts to go back to the SAO. Tran Van before
They
and
were all
after.
surprised by the police,
Failing with bad intentions, smiling mysteriously. Tran Van is not afraid or flinch at the sudden siege around. With eyes filled with murder and hostility, Tran Van looked straight at So Hao Nin and said, "Junior brother, you said I won't return to the sect. Where else can I go?" So Hao Nin pointed at Tran Van without any respect or reverence. "Challenge back. Yesterday you asked me to fight. Why don't you come? Are you a turtle or what?" The people around joined in to provoke anger. Tran Van torment him with contemptuous eyes and scrutiny. "Hate sugar. The road is truck. Even alchemists dare not fight. What a waste. One word goes in and another comes out. It's up to you to decide how to fight." The result is that he ran away. "Brother Tran, don't you feel embarrassed?" This side added another sentence. "Even the outer sect doesn't have a useless AI like you." Tran Van against narrow-minded along with excessive oppression from fellow students. "Tell yourself that if it were you back then, probably could not bear such humiliation." He looked up resolutely. No hesitation, no worry or panic. Determined to show these people what courtesy is. But now, Tran Van immediately attacked with only one hand, but has a terrible power. "Appear in blue light. Beat them all. Just show your strength. People will come to win your heart. Otherwise, the result will be of course the opposite." He held hands in anger and rage. "By these cruel people. All other people's comments are all lies. Only strength is king." In a flash, Tran Van has made that group of arrogant people suffer, lie flat at the feet. Then he continued to move forward to the horror of the rest. Without care to other people's perspective, Tran Van went straight to So Hao Nin, pressed against his face. "Give a stern warning. Are you done talking? If you're done talking, get out of the way. Don't stand here blocking my way." So Hao Nin still does not understand the etiquette. Eyes still staring at Tran Van in front. "Tran Van, you want to play with me and still want to leave?" This guy seems stubborn and refuses to leave. Tran Van did not hesitate to give the signal. "So what do you want?" So Hao Nin started to play tricks to make things difficult
arrogantly
for Tran Van.
Rage
with Tran Van. "Simply want me to ignore it. It's okay for you." He put his foot on the big rock right next to him. Point down and order to Tran Van. "You missed my crotch. Then shout 3 times, I am a piece of trash." People around saw that. Also followed Hao's trick to force Tran Van to do it. This trick is really powerful. Junior brother Tran Van did not say anything, quietly waiting for the other guys to say whatever they wanted, to wait for the right moment to strike. But the Kia guys still persistently followed cautiously. "Senior brother Tran, what are you doing out there? Don't let it go." The other person added fuel to the fire and said, "Anyway, you have no face anymore. It's okay to do this." The people below watched this collision, curious about Tran Van's next move. "Do you think brother Tran will let it go?" The buzz of discussion. "No way. If you really do that, not all life cannot raise head." In SAO sect, the discussion was heated about the next episode. This time it will be a good show to see who will stop him, haha. This is not certain. Tran Van, before the arrogant words of So Hao Nin, repeat what he just said. Why do we have to say 3 times? Power base is about to reach its limit. Annoyed shout out loud without thinking. "I am a piece of trash." Tran Van laughed happily when witnessing the bully successfully caught in his trap. Spread out, he pointed his hand sarcastically at So Hao Nin. "Ha ha ha. I didn't expect you to know yourself and me well." So Hao Nin just realized. I fell for Tran Van's trick. He was stunned for a moment and clenched his hands. Angry face and frown for being stupid. Make an unnecessary mistake. Gritted teeth and shouted at the sky. "I can't let Tran Van humiliate me anymore." So Hao Nin drew his sword and attacked him. "You dare to play me here?" Tran Van's sword was also drawn, ready to receive a surprise attack from So Hao Nin. Tran Van excitedly kept teasing So Hao Nin. Make him mad. "Is it because we say we should?" He was so ashamed that he became angry and wanted to take face to face officially. Enter a real battle. No AI given AI eyes full of resentment and murder. Want to destroy the opponent immediately. Right in the middle of the set. From the sky, an extreme rotation with tremendous power suddenly appeared. It's amazing to all the AIs present. Then a loud shout came out. "Stop." A majestic dancer riding on a flying sword, straight towards the impending battle with cold eyes. Everyone is amazed when the dance appears at this moment and says, "The sword is a disciple." Some people don't even realize. I wonder who he is. People have to adjust. Who just insulted and shouted a loud reminder. That idiot is Big Brother Wu. He went on to say that among his disciples, his power is the highest. The philosopher saw the shadow of then confirmed the information I suspect. He asked you if you were the one who killed him. Changes in Sam Sao. Tranvan seriously replied that suddenly right. Standing here, I was surprised and didn't he believe in my hand. Prince Sam, he started to worry about the mission that I used to have to do. That's not the place. I had to go on a Sao mission. He was very pleased to continue talking to Chen. Heard, my brother has already brought back the wicker. I don't hesitate. Give me your hand and make an offer. Master, can you sell me your face? Tran Van knows this brother is interested in the Yen Dan that I just captured. Have fun talking to your dance partner. Why don't we sell? I just don't know how much you can charge. The philosopher does not hesitate. That gives you a specific number. 100 raw stones. His face showed a pleasant expression. Comfortable negotiating with Tran Van. Besides, I see you've come to the temple. Wait until you get into the closet. I promise I will take care of you. People around you have to keep their mouths shut. I was surprised by the reception. For Tran Van. By the foot disciple. Not later. You can live comfortably in the forest. The person next to him couldn't help but admire Tran Van. So lucky the girl over there. My eyes lit up after seeing it all. I admire it so much. I also want to be honored by my brother. Tran Van saw everyone around. They all seemed to respect and admire this brother. Thinking stomach. This guy is stuck in his body. 100 primeval stones wanted to get their sandals. I didn't see Tran Van answer. I have to make another offer for my brother. Sao Tran T Chi Chi. This time, the amount has been increased by a number. Look more than before. Dance to continue. 300 raw stones. Then add to the solid part. Add a piece of knitting medicine. Only the foot transfusion disciple is Tran used. Van is still not satisfied. She raised her hands and shook her head in rejection. I'm so sorry, dance brother. This price is still below my expectations. Philosophers find it hard to believe when they are rejected. Ask again. I have no intention of giving up. The philosopher gives in to get what he wants. He hurriedly said, raw magnet BA part knitting pharmacy. He began to remind Chen. He said to obey. Master Chen Xian Dan only. Don't be too greedy up here. Jen has just returned from somewhere. You see the scene. Your exercise below. I realized it was Tran Van. Confused hands on his head, trying to explain the reason for the Vu philosophy. With normal Yen Dan. This price is really good. You are brave. Face the respected brother Kia. It's hard to express your heart. But this dance brother. Back to the Yen Dan variation of maple the animal lovers. Could not stand the favor of Tran Van. Point your hand at me and repeat. Brother Chen. If you ask for a price in heaven, you will be hated by others. This person is confident. I told Chen so about wanting to own this rare Yen Dan, and then emphasize that in this. Except for me, who wants this piece of yours? Suddenly from above, I immediately went down with my answer. There's also a powerful downward spiral of magic between Chen's conversation and the philosopher. Like a tornado that gives off a magical light. Tran Van was so surprised that he fell on his back. In wonder and bewilderment, the tornado is fading away. To reveal the identity of the person who has challenged. The dance. The philosopher saw that and his face became dark. Snarled the man in the. There's another story to talk about. That's the true disciple of Lam Ti Dance. The person next to her started talking about her. That woman doesn't know why. This is Lam Ti Vu, Tran Van. I was surprised by the sudden appearance of the dance. Thinking silently, I'm afraid this is the real deal. Feel the human spirit from the Vu. Tran Van immediately realized and confirmed kind of like a philosopher. It doesn't he deserve to be a blessing. Danced directly opposite Tran Van and immediately expressed his wish. Master Chen, I dare not hide it. Yen Dan variation tablets your feng shui I really want to have it. You are generous. It's worth the real value of the yen. Knitting that Tran Van is holding 1,000 raw stones and 10 parts high-grade knitting is also hard to believe. Someone dared to offer such a terrible price. She was stunned for a moment. Oh my. It's just an arbitrary quote, it's doubled. The philosopher saw that someone was about to lay hands on him. Hurry up and speak to the dance. It's a coincidence, Professor. We also have to get this. We offer 1,500 raw stones and 15 pieces of knitting medicine. Will not be able to refuse such a bargain price. Put your hands out to lock you in. Does this guy agree? Lam Ti Vu did not leave it alone. It's an even bigger number. 2,000 raw stones. 20 parts knitting pharmacy. Death Dance will not give up. Give me another number to raise the price. We offer 2,520 pieces. So the auction was very intense. It ends with the closing words of the dance. With a final price of 3,030 parts. The dancer on this side must be surprised. You see, the dance is very determined. I also choked my throat to tell you. A fiery battle took place between two disciples with the prize of a saddle. People on the outside have to be really excited. Disciple foot transmission so rich.
It's just a saddle.
Is it worth it? You guys keep passing on each other's
words
ears
come in.
about the fierce struggle between the two.
Blood
in this room. Money fell from the sky. Brother Chen is really lucky. Meanwhile, the department is suddenly angry. Close your hands. He had a face full of hatred. I gritted my teeth and looked
willing
at the
to pay
ceiling
for
my treasure. With indignation, if it wasn't for this guy wanting to fight, Tran Van is the one who came to Sam's
To
destroy non-integrity. Suddenly jealous of Chen and so
For
on.
being
treated generously by seniors. Infuriated, I thought this shameless thief. Those things are mine. Vu refused to leave alone, directly challenged with dance to make you give up on this idea. If you want to make it difficult for me. Today, let's see who can get this saddle. In her hand she summons out a treasure. Then offer a price that can't be higher. We offered 5,000 stones and 50 pieces of knitting medicine. It's a bell with incredible power. Used to negotiate with Tran Van. Besides, you have another legal thing. The people around were stunned by the treasure. Is this power worth it? This is not a fairy tale. This is
That's
crazy. The world lost peace. Suddenly shouted loudly in protest. For your Kia animal. You really spent all your money. But it's a pity. The more you want, the more I can't let you have it. An angry and scowling expression on his face. I try to find the best number for the dog. 6.060 Air Valve also have a philosophy that does not forget to know when to stop. At the same time, I want to emphasize to you that you make such a big deal. I advise you to know where to stop. Chen Yun became smaller than ever. It feels like you're about to be crushed by a philosopher. I will tell you no matter what she costs. I can also bid higher than her. You swallow your saliva. I am afraid of the power of my brother in front of me. Then slowly say, if that's what you said, that's fine. The situation is tilting towards dance. Which dance can fold hands stand still. Quickly convince the ceiling. Master Chen intended. Tran yet to finish the sentence. It's about who I'm going to sell to. I am willing to sell it. Then immediately, he pointed his hand towards the dance and finished with Lin. In the confusion and wonder of the philosophy of Tran Van has just sold out. Adjust the price a little, to please both sides. At the same time, keep the original price. 2,000 spirit stones and 20 pieces of knitting. Was upset that he had lost his piece. He is ready to challenge Tran Van to a duel. Young man, you want to confront me, right? Dance philosophy to play. Teach Cho Tran Van a lesson to remember life. Speak up, I see you are bored. Vu did not let the philosophy mess up. Put your hand out to stop the anger in your heart. She said, give your reason. Let the philosopher reflect on his actions. Brother Wu, you still want to force sell. The philosopher feels ridiculous. When you can't get over it, a little boy. You can look at Mr. Chen very emphatically. Chen Yun did not turn his back full of bitterness. He warned Tran Van. I remember you very well, and then I say thank you to Tran Van. I want to know the reason. Why did you decide to give it to me? I have to thank Mr. Chen very much this time. But tell me, why do you want to sell as cheap? So, Chen Yun is not hiding it. But honestly answer the question for the dance. I can see the Vu before that. Basically don't need my saddle. You calm down. Explain the real reason behind your actions. He's just preventing people from getting it. So I didn't hesitate to raise the price. But dancing from a distance comes back suddenly. Will turn back with unpredictable intentions. While Chen Yun is still explaining his reasons. If I really agree with him, then I got a lot of money from him. Tran Van sincerely shared with the dance. The more willing we are to sell for billions at a more reasonable price. Like that, at least we can have friendship on one side. Not that both sides hate me. The dance is very pleased to give the hand out in response to Master Chen. You're an interesting person. I dare not hide. We really need the metamorphosis. You have your wind properties. She told me about her immediate goal. My grace, animals have recently been preparing for a breakthrough. Only this material is missing. Hand clasped with joy. I would like to send my best wishes to the man I just met. Congratulations, sister. The dance replied to your words with a greeting. Soon there will be a contest. Master Chen must also know. Right, Chen Yun said I knew about this. She was excited to reveal something special to Chen. Not just ordinary students. Even the transmission legs like us. We also have to compete with each other. Think back to the last act of The Philosopher. It's all about purpose. Then we'll choose a person to take charge. Alternate elders. The philosopher sees us as his greatest rival. Our strength is difficult to divide. But if our animals break through. Tran Van finally realized the real purpose of philosophy. It turns out that's it. You're interested in teasing this billionaire. Looks like we got it too cheap. Can we adjust the price? Any weapon that can let you finish it right away. I'm sorry, I'm so small that I can't. You're not circling anymore. Directly take out the knitted love stone of the evil beast. Give to collect Vu. She holds the blue yen. Virtual hands watching. Suddenly your wind is sticking out of your sleeve. To see this treasure. As soon as it comes into contact, I feel like I've reached a new level. Fly with the blue light that's floating. Take pleasure in hugging me. Slowly enjoy the saddle. In a passionate and amusing way. Happy dance. Then according to the agreement to throw money round sold yen dan. There were more than 1,000 of these later. These parts of the medicine and the bag of wisdom are yours. Tran Van was pleased to receive the money after the negotiation. I thank my sister for her help. Lam Ti dance. He tossed 3 swords into the air for Chen Yun to capture. Chen Yun picked up the swords of the dance. Hard to understand, asked the professor. Here's the dance. Point to those swords. I do not use this sword, so you're lucky. Tran Van received this precious gift with joy mixed with anxiety. I asked the Vu again. Master Lin, this is a flying sword. This thing is so precious. All of a sudden, the sword suddenly turned into a beast. For the first time, I was able to see with my own eyes. It's a little glare. The beast came closer to get Tran Van. I can hear the heart of Vu. Tran Van was deeply moved by her integrity. Then I'll lend it to you. Chen Yun rode on the back of the beast earlier. Just went and said goodbye to Tran Van. As long as you don't take the sword for granted. Bring it back to me. Known. The recent charm is the perfect promotion. Into the billions of. Not long after. Win over all the other disciples. Chosen by the leader as his successor. Tran Van is delighted. Put your hands down. Thank you, sister. Air boom. I was a little surprised by this wish. Riding the beast up into the sky. Don't forget to say hello to Tran Van. You too. The teacher is interesting. The dance keeps flying away until there's no more shadow. That evening in Tran Van's room. Tran Van put a medicinal tablet in his mouth then testing. Quietly sit and practice. Extremely focused. The power radiates very strongly. It makes the furniture in the room shake. Feel like you have made some progress. Tran Van is proud to have reached the structure. Tran Van holds the medicine bottle to see the meaning. Master Lin's medicine is not shameful. Is high quality type. Reserved for disciples' foot transmission. With this pharmacy, that's enough to get me up before the test starts. And take out another piece of knitting medicine to practice. Tell yourself to keep trying. The more I think about the goal, Tran Van told himself to try harder. Sooner or later there is a day. I am determined to fight against the supernatural. While Tran Van tried to practice at the painting of Tran Van. Hanging firmly on the rock. The department was suddenly angry, slashing against a solid rock. That's causing the rocks to crumble with every word or ha. It's a slap on an innocent rock labeled. Tran Van saw the department suddenly angry. Cut stones constantly. The monks are also a little worried. Try to tell your brother not to be angry. Although the name Tran Van Kia young man, I can't finish the sentence was suddenly yelled at by the department. Don't mention his name in front of me. Suddenly he broke off 2 big rocks. Let me go away, my disciples. I know how to run before I get angry. I don't understand why you are so angry. They just talk less and run faster. Drag family finished. Suddenly tired of panting. The face still grimaced uncomfortably. Scratching my head, cursing my ears. Tran Van is hated. Those things are mine. I can't believe you dare to follow me. One more slash. This time, they're as sweet as an angry apple. Where does the sword come from? At the level of an exoteric disciple, 10 is not bad. The police immediately realized. That's my brother Dancer. The sage landed from the tree's branches. But this technique, it doesn't seem to be something. But a disciple like you, they are allowed to learn. The police suddenly started to get confused about this. The sage assured you. I'm not interested with how you learned to carve the soul sword. The important thing is that you have an enemy with Tran Van. The dance seems pretty exciting. When you know this information, my brother wants me to deal with him. Take your hands seriously when talk about Tran Van. To prevent Lin's beasts from ascending to the level. I have long ago purchasing the whole variation loved knitting on the market. But he left that boy who dared to sin against me. He was forced to pay dearly. Talk about here. The veins and veins of the dancer burst out. Frown with great anger. The police immediately responded to the barrage. With my burning spirit. You don't need to dance. I'll also let that scum know. The dancer was pleased to see that. Say some more information. Now, that guy's got a lot of benefits from Lam Ti. This has reached your body. Department of Natural Resources. I know what I'm going to say next. I don't want to worry anymore. You give the answer. So we're not choosing to break through right now. Because I want to try, so that I can perfectly reach the muscle structure. As long as we succeed in architecture, I will be trampled under my feet as in the past. I heard the department suddenly say
Dance
that is also believed and give full authority to the Department of Natural Resources.
Dance is watching
to handle
me
very hard.
I'm
This
not
has been handed
comfortable.
over to you. Take out a small bag hidden behind the clothes. Give it to the Department of Natural Resources and use it. In the upcoming contest, you must teach that Chen Yun a lesson to remember. The least should make him disabled. I received this gift from the philosopher with a reassuring heart. A few days later, it is still healing. The door suddenly popped open. Suddenly, the police rushed in with the gas. It makes everyone confused. Here are the students cheering. Congratulations to the lawyer for his groundbreaking. This time, the lawyer. You can definitely give Chen Yun a worthy lesson. Suddenly out of the ordinary. But the mind despises these useless wastelands. Respect. You still have some use now. Suddenly, the official order is about to start. Now I'm a troll. You need a weapon. I just borrowed some money from everyone. Tell them they don't need to borrow medicine now. Just a stone is enough. The disciples were bewildered to hear that. I can't believe this brother though. So strong and so cowardly. Borrowed again. The students are a little worried about the nature. You should tell the brother. The recluse these days, Tran Van, that rely on knitting medicine that constantly break through. It's a three-tiered muscle now. Who would have expected the sudden I don't care to everyone's warnings? Looks like he's an illusion of power. Just because he was despised by the three-tiered disciple. My current strength is still enough to handle him as before. I am in a hurry to tell you that we believe in you. It's just that other people don't think so. They feel that there is now a helping hand. Instead of them, now they're shaking hands, refuse to lend us the medicine, or spirit stones. Suddenly heard that. The more the name Tran Van grinds. Chen Van was sitting when he heard Brother Chen calling. There is a man speaking loudly. Brother Chen is not good. The name of the fucking department. The retreat ended. It has now reached the structure. Tran Van asked back in surprise. So where's the department going? The man replied that he seemed to come to work. I've called to accept the mission. Tran Van is currently thinking that it's more than 2 weeks until the big day. Why is he not focusing on strengthening the six now? I ran down the mountain to get a job. This person's mood is always good and scary. Think for a moment. The ceiling stood up. Keep thinking that. There will be some luck coming down the mountain this time. I have to go and have a look. In my head right now, shown up the image of suddenly, a while later at the palace, riding on the sword to the palace. Thinking that the Department of Natural Resources is in this place, suddenly called out. The ceiling suddenly right now. He looked at the ground with 3 swords. Sao voice. There is a wine sword. I feel like I'm a champion. Now we are perfect architecture to the day of the test. I'll show you the difference between you and a genius like me. Suddenly the system gets the news. Royal family in the southern kingdom helped them beat back the mutant tiger and discovered the spinal fluid in the center of the beast. Tran Van was surprised to think that the spirit is a heavenly treasure. Business can improve character. It's not what I was holding before. It can be compared. Maybe this guy is Chi or Sao. Luck fell into his hands. It's good luck from one to another. I can't compete. In the head of the ceiling van appeared the image of Van thought on. But for a scum like you, I won't hesitate. Tran Van hugged the right to smile and raise his voice. And ride on the sword and fly away. Suddenly, he is angry right now. What the hell does this name mean? What does he want to do in front of the gate? Speak up with many people. King brother, we're not the kind of people who quote in the sky. His hand banged against the table and continued. That tiger trainer is a mutant lover. I'm afraid that only people who have strength from muscle structure deal with it. The brothers have just encountered it has been defeated. He almost lost his life. The lake remembers the scene when you and your brothers slashed the tiger with swords. Are angry. Lake fam spoke. Brothers, we've been helping the royal family for more than a year or 2. But this time it wasn't easy to deal with. The king grinned with a smile. I hope he knows what I am. No. I hope you can get rid of that tiger trainer. You just need to protect the city. The lake broke into a smile. My brother king knows. You sent the wrong person to hang the trust. Do you feel that? When someone from the church comes, can we permanently deal with that animal? The king's calculations are wrong. I've been busy lately. Get ready for the test. The disciples have the basic power. I won't accept your commission. In my head right now, show pictures of 2 young men at the apostolic ceremony. The king talked about this. Maybe there will be a bad guy. If your brother feels your soul can save you, then our brothers can't be fused. Let's see if there are no us. Your families. Can you stop that animal? Brothers, let's go, the king said. The old man's voice was less angry. I just hoped that he would respect. We've known each other for years. Stay a few more days. We can pay more for it, again. This is not a matter of money, brother. Even if you have more money, you have to live. We don't want to lose our lives in a tiger's mouth. Choruses with hidden laughter. Unless the king asks again. Except for what? His hand reached out to the king's shoulder. He put his hands on the shoulders of the king. King brother, don't worry, your house has reached the price point. The king called out to you. The lake continues. If your brother is willing to marry me, then our brothers. He will risk his life to protect the kingdom. Even at that time, you are my brother-in-law. Right, not until then. Your brother doesn't have to worry. The kingdom has no foundation. We are the strong together. Make the kingdom even stronger. Not great, Sao. He said. His mouth flowed 2 rows of water. The king said this can't be done. The lake asked again. Oh. Not to Sao. Lord, wait for the funeral. Tiger's mouth to see the kingdom. You spend half your life building things. Suddenly at this moment, a tree with broken teeth sprinkled with a big lantern that fell along with the voice will eventually lead to the end of RASAO. He smiled and said, give me one last day to think. Lord, think carefully, think carefully. Otherwise, the consequences will be severe. He said, go away. The king is very sad right now. He punched his hand on the table and spoke. I am useless. Stop right now and go and shout A. Stop with a sad face, the old man spoke. Don't worry, don't worry. I'm absolutely not going to marry you to that son of a bitch. Stop talking. But, if there is still no AI coming, Sao, the king said angrily, no matter what, I absolutely will not let you. Not for that son of a bitch. He just wants to take advantage. To take over our family's property. This time he really had a chance. The old man hugged his head and said, oh, it's all the damage we left that year. I can't believe 10 years have passed and the response has come. Stop thinking now that. It would be good if I could practice. The kingdom will not be so. Were people as they are now. Suddenly a servant ran and said aloud, the old man has a fairy. The old man called out in surprise. Tranvan touched his feet to the ground. If you think about it, this must be the place. But Chin Yun looked at the front door of the royal palace. Tranvan thought, what are these guys? Tranvan glanced over and crashed into the mortal lake. The king stood in the house looking out. The old man opened the door and asked, you are disciples of the Holy Spirit. Chin Yun hugged the right to respond. Are you Mr. King? Has entrusted to the papyrus. The king spoke. Is that I welcome? Tranvan continued to talk to me. I heard there's a tiger trainer here. Suddenly, Chin Yun shouted in surprise. Now the system is transmitting a recent weather report. While the door shatters, the disciples of the mausoleum suddenly saved him. After leading back to the wake up through Nok Phuong Marrow body, Tranvan exclaimed, oh my god. The king invited the prophet to enter the land. Right now I think that, although I still don't know what is the physical nature of the body, the future of this girl, it's certainly very open. Absolutely can't let her to be a helper to the how. Of course shit. Suddenly, Chin Yun shouted. Stop staring at the ceiling and thinking in your head. Is this the changing conditions? System goes to notification. It has recently been discovered. Tranvan discovered. Your talent is discovered. After leading back to the wake up the Nok Phuong Marrow body, Tranvan is currently thinking that. Is it because of me or not? The old man glanced at the ceiling with a puzzled look. In my mind, why does this guy keep looking at my daughter? It's like looking at a fool. You didn't just chase the wolf and lead the tiger. The ceiling hugs the right to speak. I'm sorry, my lord, that I made a mistake. It's just that I see your daughter more than you. But there's no 6. So I can't help but be amazed. The king is a little more generous than you. But when the great fairies came to Indonesia, the grave of my daughter's disciple is examined. Is that there's no endowment? Chen Van said with a smile. Some special physical. Use the usual test. It's hard to find out. But this is not in a hurry. This time we are here is to solve the tiger training problem. I hope you make it clear to me. The king spoke. Please come into the talk room. The fairy came from far away. Go get ready to pay. I sit with my brothers in a corner. Look at the king and talk about it. A black-haired male voice ca. What to do this time? The food came to my mouth. Someone else stole another one. The purple-haired man continued. You can't just leave like that. The black-haired man continued. This man has a sword. The purple-haired man continued. Brother Six has come to wish that we are not capable of winning. The man with angry eyes spoke up. You can't let this guy. You can ruin our business. Just look at my face and act. The lake is now speaking loudly. Your brother now has a disciple of the mausoleum. Everything will be easy to discuss. More than that, but it's about tiger training, the ones we know best. Don't you mind letting us go with you? The king laughed contemptuously. Uncle Ho, you didn't decide. Don't interfere in this. I've changed my mind now, with a smiling face thinking that. This fucking dog, if it wasn't for Kia. How dare you say such words to me? Tran Vu spoke up. You guys are laughing back. All of us are masters of the royal family. They always hired us to protect them. You and I have been friends for many years. Tran Van asked again. The previous tiger training was done by you. The lake proudly responded. That's right, Chinyu smiled coldly and said that. Speak clearly to me. In the royal court, Tran Van spoke up. That's what it turns out. This tiger trainer is here for revenge. The old man looked at Chin Yun and said yes. That year I became rich. It's thanks to the complete tiger skin. I just didn't expect to let a tiger cub go. Many years later it became such a disaster. The old man wiped the sweat from his face. Remember the image of the tiger? Tran Van is thinking about it now. That tiger is, because of the Ching Ching turned area, into a hobby. I hope it left enough for me to remember. These years, does the hobby appear relatively often? The mission to eradicate the beast announced by the Huan Electric. More. It's not uncommon for even mutant lovers to leave. Now I think these things are useless. End of thought. Chen Yun took a cup of tea and drank a sip. Chen Yun now put down his cup of tea. Stand up and speak up. We already know about everything. Precious soldiers at the speed. Now we're going to go deal with that lake chain. Let the king send a guide for me. The surprised man asked again. Now it's always convenient. Is it too urgent? You came from far away. Only by resting one night. It's not too late to start again. We can also do the job of the owner. The king said with a smiling face. The ceiling is thinking now that the dam department must be chasing him. Lucky sister for me. I borrowed my sword so I could get here so fast. We have to solve this. Before that guy came, in the head of the ceiling van appeared the image of the horse is coming. Tran Van holds the right to speak. Love except ghosts is the duty of our priests. If you have received this task from then we should finish it soon, so that the king can rest assured. The king holds the right to speak. No tiger is your disciple. I thank you very much. May God bless you all. The universe exploded and the world laughed at this moment. The previous ones. We know the location of that animal's lair. You don't mind letting us lead the way. Even the ceiling can respond. The king was a little nervous about this. The mortal lake ahead led the way to the front of the king's gate. Tran Van also followed closely behind. Suddenly the king spoke. Lord, please stop. Chen was a little surprised. The king hugged the power with a worried face. Top Xian, you don't know that these monks have bad intentions. The king told me that. They're folk practitioners. There's a bit of a reputation in this area. After my family flourished, they came and asked me to work with them. He continued. For the first few years, it was okay to work for the royal family. We've dealt with a lot of violent bandits. However, in the last 2 years, they've become more and more greedy. It's even aimed at my daughter. They want me to give it to them. The king continued. Take all the property of my kingdom. This time if you don't come. When I heard the story, I asked. Why didn't you report this to Captain Long? In the Heavenly Kingdom, they deal with practitioners like this. The king shook his head and said. If there is no big case, long stripping, I won't handle small things like this. Also because of this point, that's why these people are so reckless. In short, the priest must be careful. I'm afraid the enemy has no intention of giving up. Put your hands together and say, I am grateful to the king for reminding me. In a certain forest, they're hunting a tiger. Chen Yun rode on the sword, follow them closely. Some of the people below saw him and said, fucking rich fairy disciple is really rich. I also want a sword. This name is not a tiger. This tiger trainer was chased by him to the point of screaming. Running everywhere. What hurry are they in? In a moment, this sword will be ours. Moreover, this name is definitely an esoteric disciple. It's not even a transmission. In his Bao Bao Nam, there's definitely a lot of good stuff. He continued. Be a little smarter. This is a big deal. If you let this guy get away, we'll have nothing left. The tiger ran straight into the cave. A man in a blue shirt said he was in the cave. Should I chase him? At this point, Qingyun landed on the ground and shouted, "Brother Chen, this is the lair of the tiger trainer. It's just a complicated inner path. That animal is like a fish meeting water." With the strength of the real brother, did not dare to enter. He immediately said, "Just like the people we're guarding here. Take care of that animal. Can't let it escape?" Tran Van can also answer. He said he went inside the cave. Achieve the goal immediately. Clown laughter? Then he shouted, "Give orders to the boys." He three quickly arranged HOA position to fight. The evil laughing lake said, "Wait until that guy's done with the Kia animal. Go out and we will attack him directly. Don't let him back in time. Don't mess it up." A man named 3 holds a sword. He put his hand in his shirt. "Take out something." He held a pile of stones in his hand and said, "CA, look closely. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this one." He said he put a stone on the ground. Howl silently thinking, "This is what? It cost a lot of money to buy it." He thought on. It's enough to encircle the 6 monks under a 5-tiered structure. In a few seconds. Until then, we all come together. Not afraid of not being able to handle that boy. The third man stood up. He said and launched one.